Is the DOJ pulling federal agents away from fighting local crime and public corruption? During a tense hearing, Senator Cory Booker confronted Attorney General Pam Bondi with shocking numbers about where your tax dollars are going. First, he called out $35 million in frozen local funding.
If they want those grants reinstated, I've written letters, but I am hoping that you and I can have a conversation. $35 million of frozen funding for public safety that the people of New Jersey, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, really invested in those resources, those programs, and those nonprofits who were expecting those grants, often made outlays and are now really in a lurch. Can we talk about those grants and the restoration of them, please?
Yeah, and Senator Booker, I had stated earlier that yes, we did terminate grants. We have an appeal process. We have turned some back on. We are appealing. We are looking at some. Some we have denied. Some are still pending. I believe we have multiple appeals pending with New Jersey, and I would be happy to sit down with you and look at those appeals. I believe one is with the city of New Jersey. I know there are multiple ones pending, but of course, I would be happy to sit down with you or any senator or any House member and look at grants that have been terminated. I've been doing that, and I would welcome that.
But I will be the first one you sit down with, correct?
Absolutely. I'd love to sit down with you on that. I'll look at those tomorrow, Senator Booker.
Thank you very much. I want to move on.
Next, Booker brought up a controversial local arrest that a federal judge called embarrassing and politically motivated.
This year, the Department of Justice charged Newark Mayor Ras Baraka after he sought access to Delaney Hall Detention Center to conduct oversight. The charges on their face, to many of us, especially in New Jersey, were clearly baseless. Many people say they're politically motivated. And then the judge, the federal judge, admonished the prosecutors for even bringing the case. This is the quote from the federal judge. Federal prosecutors serve a single paramount client, justice itself. Your role is not to secure convictions at all costs, nor to satisfy public clamor, nor to advance political agendas. The federal judge went on to call the charges embarrassing and a worrisome misstep. Mayor Baraka was arrested that day on the scene, and I know you understand this, to arrest a mayor of a major city on charges that were called by a federal judge embarrassing and a worrisome misstep is very concerning to me.
Then Booker dropped the biggest numbers of the hearing, exposing exactly how many agents are being stripped from their core duties.
You and I both know that about 11,000 Americans have been killed by a firearm just this year. The Department of Justice, according to the White House's own documents, as well as that of the conservative think tank Cato, have shown that there has been a significant movement of law enforcement resources away from many other issues and into immigration enforcement. And we are seeing that in that immigration report, a lot of the people are not the violent criminals that we are really needing to rid our streets of. In total, according to the Cato Institute, you've reassigned 7,460 law enforcement away from their primary duties, investigating drug traffickers, prosecuting child pornography, targeting high-value white-collar criminals, and again, forcing them, this is according to the Cato Institute, into low-level immigration enforcement. This includes, in terms of gun violence, 1,778 agents from the ATF to this kind of immigration enforcement. The White House itself has said that they diverted 45% of all of agents in 25 FBI field offices to work on immigration full-time. As a person who worked very closely in my time as mayor with the New Jersey field office, that's really concerning given the other threats. But it doesn't end there.
He also claimed the DOJ completely gutted its unit meant to investigate corrupt politicians.
For the record, I want to ask about the public corruption unit as well. We now have gone from a public integrity section that went from 36 full-time prosecutors to now only 2. And yet we know, Democrats and Republicans, there is a real problem with public corruption in our country. And we know that the DOJ has stopped enforcing the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, disbanded the Foreign Influence Task Force, dismissed the indictment against Trump donor Andrew Weidenhorn, cut back on white-collar investigations. My list goes on. I'm running out of time. But I will ask for the record against not only reassigning officers and prosecutorial resources from the other things I mentioned, but public corruption is really important. I want to talk about an area of bipartisanship on this committee.
Attorney General Pam Bondi strongly defended the move. Here is how she explained the shift.
If I can go back to your previous two questions, first about our agents being reassigned. Our agents are working tirelessly on their day jobs and with Homeland Security. And right now, they're not getting paid. And they're on the streets during a government shutdown working to keep every city in this country safe, in New Jersey and in every state. They're working together with DHS on task forces, but they're also doing their core mission, and they're getting child predators off the street. They are working so hard with all the agencies hand in hand. That has not been sacrificed. And I'm so proud of the work that the FBI, DEA, ATF are doing. ATF agents have worked tirelessly. I am in constant contact with them on the incredible cases that they're making to keep our country safe and our world safe, especially our DEA agents who are stationed around this world, and now they're not getting paid. Back to the public integrity section, the last point you made. It has not been slashed. Those are going to the various U.S. attorney offices to be handled in each office around the country instead of one unit based in D.C. Yeah. Thank you.
What we are witnessing right now is not just a standard, run-of-the-mill political disagreement between two high-profile figures in a Washington boardroom. This is a fundamental, historic, and potentially dangerous shift in how American law enforcement operates on a day-to-day basis. Let's look past the political theater and focus entirely on the staggering data that Senator Booker just dropped on the official congressional record, taking thousands of elite, highly trained tactical federal agents completely off their core missions, like dismantling human trafficking networks, hunting down child predators, fighting major drug cartels, and investigating high-level corporate fraud, and reassigning them wholesale to low-level immigration enforcement is an unprecedented structural overhaul of the Department of Justice. To one side of this fierce debate, this is a reckless, politically motivated move by Maine Justice that directly compromises our internal public safety. By getting central public corruption units down to just 2 prosecutors and freezing millions in local anti-crime grants. Critics argue that everyday American neighborhoods are being left totally exposed just to fuel a political agenda. But to the other side of the aisle, this is a necessary, hard-nosed, and long-overdue mobilization required to handle a massive national security crisis at our borders. Under this view, if the border isn't secure, the rest of the country can't be safe, making these reassignments an absolute priority regardless of the internal friction it causes. There is simply no middle ground here, and the real-world consequences of this ideological battle are going to ripple through local police departments and communities across all 50 states. But at the end of the day, the data is on the table, and it is up to you to decide where the truth lies. This is exactly why I make these videos, to filter out the mainstream media spin, give you the raw transcripts, and let you see exactly how your tax dollars are being used. So I want to turn this directly over to you. Do you stand with Senator Booker's warning that we are compromising our local streets and letting corrupt politicians off the hook? Or do you back Attorney General Pam Bondi's defense that the border must take absolute priority over everything else? This is a massive constitutional and societal debate that affects every single one of us. So do not stay silent. Drop your raw, honest thoughts in the comment section below. Let's get a real discussion going. If you want to see more uncensored, data-driven political breakdowns, just like this one, do me a massive favor. Smash that like button right now to help blow this video up in the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single update. Thank you so much for watching. Keep your eyes open, and I will see you in the very next video.